that was discovered was said to contain a holographic history of the world that would read out in a
That's very intriguing.
Yeah, read out in a holographic form. It also had a series of tables. In one table, if you put your hand over a portion of the table, it would read out your DNA in holographic form. If you put your hand over another part of the table, it would read out the species of another life form, or perhaps from another planet or a star system, and it would show the star system so you knew where it was from. So you have a very science fiction scenario that is coming in the guise of not science fiction. And this is where, you know, I stand at the crossroads of right now. There's 4 sequels written to Transylvania Sunrise, of which I'm attempting to get them translated right now from the Romanian, because they haven't been translated into English.
Oh, yeah.
So this is being negotiated and worked out as we speak.
Yeah, and that's just so fantastic. When you think about it, it's so intriguing that they've accomplished so much. And of course, the public normally doesn't know about it unless, you know, they know about books by people such as yourself that have that inner knowledge. Okay. Also, talking about time travel, I remember you mentioned that there are 2 parts. There's the physical being and the spiritual being.
Right.
You know, and I was wondering if you can explain that a little bit to us.
Well, that's certainly not my idea. That's not a new idea. But that yes, there is a physical.
I think that was in the Montauk Project book.
Well, it's mentioned, but it's
right.
This is certainly not a new idea. That there's a physical body, and that there's of course a brain, and a mind, and then there's the human spirit, and the human spirit is independent of the physical body. But it's like, what's that word they use in pop psychology? Codependent.
Oh.
There's a codependency between the human spirit and the physical body. And this is some of the more basic spiritual issues. You know, can a spirit survive without a body? Well, of course, we have, you know, the stories of ghosts, the legends of ghosts.
People that passed away, that as psychics we tune into.
Exactly. And there is a differentiation between the two. And then when you get into the study and science of electromagnetics, you know, the whole idea is to ensnare or to lure the spirit, which responds to an electromagnetic signature. Each spirit would have an electromagnetic signature, or be associated with an electromagnetic signature where it would respond to. The way I was taught was that the spirit has no electromagnetic signature. It's plain the great stillness. They call it in Taoism. But it thinks it has a signature. It thinks it has to adapt or adopt to interface in the same way that the body would be a more exaggerated version of adapting to the physical domain or physical plane.
Yeah. And actually, we pretty much think the same way on the metaphysical level, you know, which we look at metaphysics as the oldest science because physics, as an example, came out of metaphysics, although that's not what it was called at the time. Okay? And chemistry connected to alchemy. So, you know, a lot of those concepts just carry over, which is very positive that they're even connecting anything to the spiritual rather than just the sciences, you know, the technical sciences. Now, my second father, Gyula Berde, was born in Transylvania when it was Hungary. And then my mother, Maria Berde, was born in Sátoraljaújhely, which is a long Hungarian name. And then, of course, I was born in Budapest. Now, both my sons, Rick and Rob, were born in this country. And I find that any country you're in, you always have underground information. So you have information passed down, as an example, master to initiate, shaman to shaman. And I find that that's always been around. Now, in Transylvania Sunrise, which, by the way, I found was absolutely eye-opening, okay, I was wondering what's the significance of that particular book, the main thing that you wanted to get across?
Well, just that there is a great discovery underneath the Bucegi Mountains in Romania that is right near the border of Transylvania. And Transylvania is a whole other story. But this chamber, that there's the great secrecy around it, politically, actively right now. And if you go to it on Google Earth, this area is going to be blacked out.
Oh, that's interesting.
Exactly.
That they would actually do that.
Exactly.
So people don't show up and
hit
tourists.
And then there were 3 tunnels. And another part that's very significant, there were 3 tunnels in that chamber, one of which led to Cairo. And the Great Hall of Records that has been predicted would be discovered there, which is a similar installation underneath the Giza Plateau.
Well, everything is just so interesting, and thank you so much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure, and I just love all the information, and hopefully everybody gets to read all 3 books because they're absolutely phenomenal among, you know, the other books that you've written. But with time is just, you know, always amazing to me. Okay. Do you want a better life and to have control over it? Then stay for the Spiritual Corner coming up next. Don't go away. Today we're talking about how to manifest a new reality. If you can conceive it, you can create it. In my book, The New Age Formulary, which is a workbook for creating a positive life, it explains how to manifest, how to create a better life for yourself so that you have control over your own life. Now, the way it works when you manifest, and I've developed a system to explain this, it's called TAP, T-A-P. It works the same as a triangle. Whatever you're creating and you're manifesting into your life, you put it out in thought first, then it goes to the astral plane to form, and then it comes back to the physical plane where we create it and we acquire it. So thought, astral, physical. So as long as you remember the word TAP, you will always remember exactly how we create our own realities. You also have to decree it to receive it. And when you decree something, you're making a statement that empowers your words. So when we make a statement that's a decree, that's a definite statement, that is what we're attracting into our lives. You want to have control over your own life. Now, to create reality, you need 5 things. You need thought, focus, willpower, you need emotions, and you need to expect it. So as an example, in thought, you need a concept, you need a goal, because if you were going somewhere in a car, as an example, if you don't have a destination, how are you ever going to get there? So you need a concept or a goal to work towards. Then you need a focus. Now, as an example, say you wanted a car. Okay. Your focus needs to be the outcome of getting the car, not how you're getting the car. Because as an example, if you wanted a car, somebody could buy it for you as a present. They bought themselves a new one, gave you theirs. However, you're still getting the car. So your focus is on the outcome, not how you're getting it. And then you need willpower so that you push it and you follow through. Now, sometimes when you have willpower and you're really staying with a goal, I find that a lot of people look at it and go, oh, you're being stubborn. And I mean this nicely, but so what? If you look at the people that are stubborn enough to stay with their goal, then they will reach their goal eventually. It's a matter of time. It's not a matter of if. It's a definite. So you need to be stubborn enough to stay with your willpower. It doesn't matter if it takes 2 days or 2 months. And if you look at people that are successful, they all have that willpower. Okay. Now, the other thing you need is emotion. If you don't put your heart into it, you're not going to receive it. As an example, if you wanted to get a car, but you didn't really care too much if you got it or not because you already had one, you just wanted a better one. Eventually it might come in, it might not. It's kind of 50-50. However, if your car broke down and you really need a car, whether it's old or new, but it has to be new to you, if you can't get around, now your heart's in it, you really want that car. Okay. So because your emotions are in it, you're looking for it, you really need to get to work, or, you know, just for travel, depending on where you live. Then because your emotions are in it, it's like a battery charge, or like adding fuel, okay, to create the situation. And the other one is that you need to expect it. As an example, when you were a child, if you went to the store with your father, and when you walked in the door, you said, you know, I really want that candy bar. And your father said, well, before we leave, I'll buy it for you. First thing you did was you said thank you. And when you're manifesting, you need to thank upstairs or whatever your belief system is, because as soon as you ask, it's definitely coming in. So when you ask your father and he says he's getting it for you, the next step is that you're going to walk around the store because eventually he's getting it. So you're expecting it that when you leave the store, you will automatically have it. Okay. Now, I made a list of 3 steps that are going to be helpful in creating a new goal. Okay. The first one is, what are you expecting? Really focus on what do you want, what are you expecting, what do you actually want in your life? Be aware of it consciously. The second one is why or how did you get this outlook? You look back and look at, well, what did the outlook create in your mind originally? Okay, if you don't like it, you're going to have to change it. If it's not positive for you, then you choose something better. Okay? And look at how or what can you replace it with. So if you do those 3 steps, it makes it very, very easy for you to manifest something that's a new goal. Now, at the same time, you want to make sure that the new goal that you're manifesting is very simple in the beginning. You want to make sure that it's an easy goal so that you can manifest it quicker, and that you can manifest it so that you can see it and say, oh, okay, this worked. Let me try it with something bigger the next time. So you want to do something easy. It doesn't matter if it's a radio or a TV, but make it something very simple in the beginning, and you can manifest emotionally. So as an example, you can manifest that you want to go meet somebody new. You want to go somewhere that's fun, like a movie or a show. Okay? But pick a simple goal in the beginning. Okay? What you want to remember is you need to put out for what you want, and there's 5. Okay? You need to put out for what you want. You need to have thought, again, your goal, focus. You have to be able to focus on the outcome. You need willpower, which again, sometimes people think is stubborn, but so what? You need the emotions behind it to fuel it or to give it that charge, and then you need to expect it for it to work. Again, you need to decree it to receive it. Okay? Part of decreeing is that when you're making a statement of what you want, you need to make a statement that's definite. You know, not I would like. You need to make a statement of I am now creating a new car in my life, or I am now creating a positive relationship in my life. Whatever you're manifesting, you have to make it as a statement and just repeat it on and off to yourself. Nobody else has to know. It can be very silent. It can be verbal or nonverbal. But as an example, if you're in a bank line or at a gas station or even at a red light, you really don't have anything else to do. You may as well focus on what you're decreeing so that you can receive it quicker. Okay. Now, what you want to remember is that things change not because we're better or that we became better, but because universal law, which says like attracts like, works. Thank you all for joining us today. Don't forget to tune in for upcoming episodes on The Spiritual World with Maria. If you would like more information on anything you heard today on the show, a copy of my shows, or for a deeper meaning of Ishten Hozut, go to www.mariadeandreasolomon.com. You will see that and other contact information at the end of the show. Okay? May God bless you abundantly.